Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another build. However, this is an indoor build today. So usually I'm doing outdoor builds, but I thought today, in celebration of the update that is dropping later today, I thought I would finally do my build inside the Monsters Inc. apartment from the premium shop. So to start off with, I decided to make a lobby area as I wanted this to kind of just mimic a real apartment, but the rooms aren't going to all be bedrooms or apartments. Essentially, they're all going to be very different. So to start off in the lobby, I placed some counters and I did dress a mannequin to kind of fit as sort of a receptionist, and I did that previously, and I added in some of the royal posts, some windows and some cherry blossom trees, as well as these beautiful red carpets leading to each doorway. Now I knew I wanted the apartment kind of lobby area to be pretty simplistic, as I knew it was mainly just for a decor to lead to each room. Now I added a few paintings onto the back wall as well as a yellow bike in front of the actual apartment, and as you can see I just decorated the lobby counter with a phone and a notebook and a pen to kind of where they sign everyone in, and some books as well as some lights. Now heading on into the first room on the right, this is going to be our main Monsters Inc. apartment where Mike and Sully are going to live. Obviously not the actual characters when they come, but just in this apartment they will. So I have started by putting some of the Monsters Inc. wallpaper as well as separating that with some white on the other side. So I then blocked in the main areas. Obviously the fireplace for the Monsters Inc. is very big, so I decided to place that in early on, as well as the two beds, just so I could get a good idea of where I wanted everything to go and make sure I could fit everything I wanted in. We have so many Monsters Inc. items, so I did use majority Monsters Inc. in here. However, I did use the Wally furniture hanger just because I felt like it fit the kind of student uni apartment vibe. So I did add that in, but pretty much everything else in here is Monsters Inc. related, so it kind of just all tied in really well together. Now on the back corner by the front door I did place a bathroom. Obviously we can't really block this out as much as I'd want to, but I did use a divider to kind of keep it separate. To finish up the room, I used a memory frame to get a picture of Mike and Sully that I had unlocked with my memory orbs, and as well as that I included the time bending crafted item of the kind of monster of the month, which I placed on the wall as I feel like Sully would hang this up with pride. To start off with, I used some of the tangled painted windows. I think these look perfect in kind of a school room just because it seems as though it's kind of an arty room. And I then went in with the bigger furniture like the bookshelves, the desks, and also I used Jack's chalkboard as a kind of to mimic a school chalkboard. On each desk I used small objects to kind of mimic different topics in school. So I used one to place down some weights to kind of mimic maths, one with some science kind of potion items, and then one with a sewing machine to obviously show more crafty side. And instead of doing a fourth desk I decided to use the tangled crafting table as well as the easel, just because I felt like it looked kind of bulky having four desks in here, so I decided to add that instead just to seem as though that would be the arts and crafts area in this room. And then added some items into the corners, so I added some books as well as the Monsters Inc. lamps, and I also placed a lot of items on the walls. I wanted it to be really bright in here and really colourful to mimic an actual school, so I placed some different items up there. One of the final touches was to add a memory frame, and I decided to go, rather than with a picture of the characters, I decided to go with one of the kind of task pictures we got with the quest, which was the one of Nala's statues and kind of how to put them together, as I felt like it really reminded me of something you'd see in a school classroom teaching you how to do something. And that was then the end of that room. Onto the final room, which is on the left hand side. Now as you can see, I have placed 2 mannequins already, as I knew I wanted to use these 2, and I kind of did the outfits for those off camera. But I then went in with the Wanderer kitchen set, which we all know and love, that came to the premium shop recently. I've been waiting to do this kind of diner room with these items, so I'm so glad they came back to the premium shop so I could finally put them to life. And I started off by putting the kitchen in the right hand side of the room, and I wanted it to be one where I could also have a counter where people could come and sit. I used the Moana stools to put along the counter. I was debating between those stools and also the Toy Story stools, but I felt like these ones just fit really well because the wood of the bottom of the stool really matched with the counters, so I felt like that was the option to go for. On the ceiling, I put a chandelier in the middle just to bring a lot of light and make it seem very fancy like a restaurant, and also some of the hanging glasses from Wreck-It Ralph before I went in and made the seating area, and also this small little alcove area at the front, which is basically where you'd go and check in and get your seat at a restaurant, and that is where I put one of the mannequins who presumably would be there to type on the computer and get you all checked in to where you were sitting. Above the dining table, I put the star neon light up sign. I felt like this was absolutely perfect here, and I love that this sign lights up at certain times of the day. And I also placed in the photo booth as well as the kind of coffee cart, as well as a lamp, just to bring a lot more character to the build and make it seem as though somewhere people could really hang out and have fun. The final touch was to change the floor to the Lilo and Stitch diner floor. I felt like this was just the perfect floor for this, and I also then went in with the memory frames, and I made one be one of Gaston's letters, which may seem a bit strange, but I felt like it reminded me of a restaurant when the orders come up on a screen or something, so I placed that in the kitchen to kind of mimic as though the orders are coming in and they are putting them into the system and they're kind of cooking those up for everyone. And the other memory frame I placed in was a Toy Story one to fit the theme. So this is the overall build. We will go through everything. So as you can see, this was the finished apartment. So in the lobby area, obviously we just have this very simple counter, which I'm glad I went for this counter in this colour. I feel like it fits well with all the items on top and the mannequin to check everyone in. I loved using the cherry blossom trees at the front. I know they don't quite match the rugs, however I just think the cherry blossom trees can be used anywhere, to be honest. And then we head into the first apartment room. So this is obviously Mike and Sully's apartment. I think this looks amazing, and even though we have so many Monsters Inc items, it's hard to fit them all into a build in a single room because there is so many of them. However, I feel like I did a good job of making it seem like 2 people would actually live here without being able to kind of divide it into a bedroom or a living room. I kind of had to do it as an open floor plan, so I feel like I managed to get everything in here and show a really cozy apartment room. This seems like somewhere people would really want to come and hang out, and I loved using Mike and Sully's chairs that we have in the game to add to that living room space, just to make it seem more realistic for them to be there, and to place the paintings on the wall to make it seem as though they have their own photos hanging up. From there we go into the back room, which obviously we know is our schoolroom. So in here you can see that this is the completed schoolroom. I absolutely love that I use these large windows. I think they bring a lot of light in, especially during the earlier times in the day. And I popped so many things on the wall. I think it just looks very realistic for an actual classroom, and I just think I love how this turned out. I'm glad I went with the 3 desks rather than the 4, just so then I could utilise this crafting table as sort of an art table and an easel. And obviously, as you can see, the mannequin at the front, who is the teacher, I have dressed up, so it seems as though as they are now teaching a lesson in the classroom, which I really like. I was debating adding more mannequins to kind of be the students, but I wasn't sure how it would turn out, and I thought I may wait until the Monsters Inc items come to us, because I can use some more kind of crazy hairs like the Celia hair, so we will wait for that. So as we head into the final room, this is obviously the diner, which I have to say is my personal favourite. I love how this turned out, and I'm so happy we finally got this furniture. So on the left we obviously have our area to check in with the kind of hostess stood there in her very Monsters Inc themed outfit, and we obviously have all of the diner stalls here, and I placed a lot of food on the counters and on the tables. I did that off camera just because it wasn't anything particular. You could use whatever you wanted as food on this area. I just went with some things that I felt like fit the vibe, so I went with a more kind of breakfast kind of drinks theme on the bar area, and then on the dining tables I used more sort of main meals. And I did place this laptop to kind of reference the vibe of this as an apartment, and it's also got like a school, so it kind of just links more into the Monsters University kind of theme. So here are some final shots of the build. I really enjoyed doing this. I have to say, which I've said before, my personal favourite is the diner, just purely because I've been waiting to get that Wanderer kitchen set for a very long time. And when it finally came back in the premium shop last week, I knew straight away that this diner was on my to-do list. So I obviously started with the lobby and then went on to the Monsters Inc. bedroom, which I just think is so adorable. I feel like this would be such a cute place to hang out. And I'm just very excited for Mike and Sully to come into the game today. So I hope you guys are too. But I then loved doing the schoolroom. Obviously it's not doesn't really give off university vibes. It seems a lot more childlike. However, I just felt like it had that nice balance of still looking quite formal but also having the really fun pop of colour and the painted windows to bring that vibe. Finally, we obviously have the pictures from the diner, which, as I said, is my favourite. I just love this furniture, to be honest. I want to use it everywhere now, but I really like how this turned out, and I think adding the food onto the tables just brings such a difference and brings so much more character. So I really love the end result. So that is the final apartment build with the Monsters Inc. house from the premium shop. Obviously, hopefully this will come back in the premium shop if people didn't get their hands on them, but if not, this could definitely be done in a different building. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video and you're excited for the update later today. I will be streaming it over on my Twitch when it releases, so if you guys want to come and hang out while I'm playing the update for the first time, feel free to do so. My link is in the description, and I hope you all enjoy the update and have an amazing day. Bye!